Alright guys, so it is a new day. We've decided that in the month of September we are going to be doing one thing per day, if not more, just so we can get this car back on the road, get it driving again. I definitely miss driving this thing. As you guys saw, we got brakes done here. We've got brakes done here. Super easy job. Way easier than I thought it would be. So today we're going to go ahead, pull the pulley off here, pull the water pump out, replace that, and then replace all of the bolts for the crank pulley. And I decided that I'm just going to do it one at a time. So we'll pull a bolt, replace it, pull another bolt, replace it, and kind of just work our way around until we get all 8 done. I don't really want to have it come off since there is tension on this belt. I don't want to end up accidentally pulling it off or doing something weird and having to find that offset hole. So we'll just try and do it like that. So yeah, I've just decided to be a little bit more productive and use my time wisely and actually get this car worked on and get it done so we can actually enjoy it. And yeah, it really isn't even that hard to work on. I'm over here acting like it's like rocket science. It really isn't. It's not that bad. So in an ideal world, we would actually have a belt on here to hold it. However, using an impact, you can actually hold the pulley itself with your hand, and the impact moves at a rate that is quick enough to loosen the bolt without wanting to spin the whole pulley itself. Alright, so we've got the pulley off, as you guys can see, coolant all around it, and especially here there is actually wet coolant where this freeze plug is installed on the bottom here. So that's our tall tale sign that this guy was in fact leaking at this freeze plug at the bottom. That's what I get for buying a cheap part. So we'll get all these bolts out, pull the water pump out, and we should be good. We've got that off, throw the new one in, and call it a day. Alright, so went around the surface with a razor blade, lightly kind of drug it just to get any excess material and grime off. Now we've got our new water pump. Gasket is installed. We'll go ahead, go in here, set it down like so, and then we can grab a bolt. And just lightly thread the bolt in, just so it holds the water pump in. You can do it hand tight. So, bam. Now we can get the rest of the bolts. Boom. Now we'll go ahead and install all of the bolts. So I think there is enough room. I can pull out like 4 and then we'll replace 4 at a time. I think that the ARP hardware is thin enough. It is machined on the side, so it might be too big. We'll see. We'll find it. So 1. replace the 4 that we just pulled out, and then we'll do the other 4. So we have our torque wrench set to 40 Newton meters, or well, it's really about 39.8. This thing has this weird conversion on it, but yeah, so I'll just go around here and try not to spin the engine over while we're torquing. You can kind of hold the supercharger pulley. Boom. There's one. Alright guys, so anyway, we've got crank pulley bolts installed, so we are all set on that. We've got a new water pump. So the new mindset with the car is to just one step at a time. We'll install one part at a time, no matter how small it is, and it'll get us to that goal, rather than not installing anything and just kind of sitting and waiting for something to happen that's not going to happen unless I take that step. So yeah, that's how it's got to be. If you're a car person, that's how it's got to be. You got to take initiative and just start doing, start learning, start turning that wrench, and you'll get to your end goal. So we're almost there. We've got a sick Audi, we've got a sick Jetta, can't really see them, but we got 2 really cool cars. It is just up to us to keep them cool, keep them running, and keep enjoying them. So yeah, so that is going to be it for the Audi work. Gotta just put the tools away. Now we can come over here, and I think the water methanol sprayer, I think that's stuck, plugged open, or stuck closed. So I'm gonna have to double check that and see what's going on with the sprayer. Alright guys, so my suspicion was right. The water methanol system, it comes out this side, but it was just cycling back. I have like the return style flow system, so once it builds a bunch of pressure on this side, it was just defaulting to going back to the tank. So we're gonna have to make another pill or something to restrict the flow on this side, so it forces it to actually come out and spray into the intake, because it wasn't spraying anything into the intake. Alright guys, so got the intake off here. I really do need to get a new 45 degree, or I think this is actually a 15 degree bend, 3-inch 15 degree bend, so I can actually just use, I bought a bulkhead fitting for the Audi S4, so this was going to be actually the water methanol sprayer for the S4. Never really used it, but this is so much more simple than this whole contraption here, and plus I drilled that hole and made that bulkhead fitting. I don't even use it anymore, so definitely got to get another 15 degree bend. I'll probably order one this week, so I can just convert to use that one, and we'll just use that as the water methanol system, and it'll be a little bit more low profile, hidden in there. Won't be such a freaking gnarly contraption like it is. And this one's kind of sketchy because one of the pipes is just glued to this piece, or one of the tubes is just glued to this piece, so it could fall off at any point. We're risking it, risk it for the biscuit, but we got a sprayer system that will work now. We put a new nozzle and all kinds of new hoses and stuff, so we should be in business now. Alright guys, so we've got the system all figured out, new sprayer and all. As you can see, very, very fine mist. like I was saying in the previous video, if I want to utilize the system to cool like I originally intended to, I have it coming on at 4 psi now, so it comes on early, it doesn't spray too much, and it allows for the intake and the charge air pre-intercooler to actually get saturated with this really fine mist, and doesn't really add any fueling as the boost rises. It's just a one size nozzle, just starts spraying early and keeps spraying throughout the pull, and doesn't overpower the actual air intake system and create like added fueling for the car. So yeah. Alright guys, so we got everything put back together. Intake is back on. Actually went ahead and cleaned them off while I was at it, and we should be good. So we'll take the car out later and see if it performs any different. It's probably been not working since I parked the car, so I hadn't checked it. Glad I took everything apart and saw that it wasn't actually spraying. I was wondering because that little tank was not draining. I was like, I'm spraying way too much to have that thing last me a full week. So yeah, glad I figured it out.